Hey Creators, Robo here. Yeah, it has been a while since we've been able to post a video. But now that we both had our break, we are able to come back full steam ahead with this new video. So, for this video we wanted to give a comment from a while ago a try. Here we're going to try and make a Hero Roller Replica prop. First we start with a lot of cutting to make the base of the body of the roller. For this I got a lot of 32mm PVC pipes and cut these into a few different lengths. One 12cm, two 13cm, two 15cm, three 18cm, and lastly two of 49cm. After these were all cut to size, I used some sandpaper and my X-Acto knife to take off all the fuzz from the jigsaw. For most it's not that important to get a perfect edge, since these will be glued into couplers to make the body of the roller, but for one of the 15cm it needs to get a nice edge. So do both of the 13cm. Next we keep the jigsaw going with some wooden pieces we need to cut out. For these we will need to use some 22mm MDF to make two circles that will go on the sides of the roller, one circle that can go into a coupler to support the ink tank, and one circle to fit into the 15cm pipe piece to support the end handle, which we will also need to cut out of two layers of 10mm plywood. Lastly, we also have two spacers made from two layers of 6mm plywood.
Sure.
After giving all of these a good sanding, we're using an 8mm drill to make the holes in the centers of the big sides of the roller and the spacers. Once these are drilled and shaped, we grab some 2mm EVA foam to make some decorations for the sides. Then gluing these on and cutting out the 8mm holes in the center. Same as for the spacers, we even use the drills to make sure the holes line up. Then we can finally start with the assembly of the body. For this we will need a bunch of couplers. We will need one 45° T-piece, 5 45° and 4 90° couplers. But if you want to make the roller hinge as ours will do, you will need this specially designed hinge and these end caps to hold the roller. Otherwise you can just use a T-piece and a heat gun to squish one end of the 13cm pipes, which need to be extended to make sure it has the same length, to make a flat spot for the roller to connect. For the assembly we start from the hinge by using a 12cm piece to connect to the 45° T-piece. Then we use an 80cm piece of pipe to connect to a 90 and a 45° coupler with another 18cm piece that plugs the hole. To give this a chance to dry, we start again from the other end with the end handle and a nice 15cm piece. To this, another set of 90 and 45 degree couplers are glued, followed by an 18cm piece with a 45-degree coupler already attached. Next we can go back to the first part with two 45-degree couplers together. And to combine the two assemblies, we use the last 15 cm piece. Then we can assemble the holder for the roller, starting by heating the 13 cm pieces to accept the 3D printed end caps. Next we use another heat on the 49 cm pieces to squeeze those into the top part of the hinge. Then we glue those in place with a 90-degree coupler on the end. But we will not glue the 13 cm pieces on the couplers yet. Those have to be saved for the very end of the project. Finally we can work on the roller. We start by drawing a line over this piece of 125mm pipe to make a reference line that will be used later on. Yeah, we did not need to glue in the sides yet because of how we want to attach the roller to the frame. So this means we need to drill in some screws and then heat up the sides to get the hot glue to release. Luckily this all worked out, but this could have gone way worse. And then we need to fix the holes in the sides, so we use some filler and the tiniest bit of water to smooth it out. Next a light sanding and we can continue. And with that we mean we can continue sanding. Here we use some 120 grit to rough up the surface of the roller to accept glue and later on paint better. Then we can make the texture that will go into the roller. For this we will be using 5mm EVA foam, which we will cut into a 100 by 40 cm rectangle. Next we can start on the pattern itself. For this we first draw on these reference lines. Next we will place the spacing of the pattern over these reference lines. And thirdly we will add these rectangles with circles on the end. After drawing these on, we cut them out with an X-Acto knife and we repeat this process over the entire sheet. Then we can finally start to glue this sheet of EVA foam onto the roller with some contact cement. We start by just attaching the bottom of the sheet to have it not move around a whole lot. Then we slowly glue on the sheet onto the pipe to give the roller its texture. We also try to use a marker to place where the holes are going to go to try to avoid brushing contact cement there. Then it's just a process of marking out the holes, applying glue to both sides, letting it dry until it's tacky but not slimy anymore, and then slowly pressing it in place. But because the seam was rather large at the end, we use a bit of filler and sanding to make it a bit smoother. Also a bit of sanding and trimming on the sides before continuing our foam smithing with the ink tank. For this part I've been able to make this pattern, which will be in the description below for anyone who also wants to try their hand at a Hero replica weapon. For this tank we will need 6 pieces. So we trace the pattern 6 folds and cut it out 6 folds. Then we use a heat gun for a bit to make the pieces a bit rounder to make the upcoming gluing easier. So for this gluing we make 2 halves, but one of these will get a 1.5 cm edge trim. This will be the side that will be placed on the inside. Off camera we also made a bit of a wooden support on the inside to mount to the pipe on the frame. And we also added this wave to the top. When all of these things are done, we can make use of the final bit of contact cement to close off the ink tank. Finally, it's painting time! Starting by giving everything a nice primer. For the wooden pieces, this means getting a coat or 2 of some black acrylic paints. And with a light sanding, the body is also ready for a black spray paint primer. Since we want to keep the spacers black, we protect these with a layer of painter's tape, same as for where the handles are going to be attached later on onto the body. But since the ends of the roller were still a bit, well, ugly, we added a layer of 2mm foam to cover that up before we coat the whole thing with a layer of plastic dip. But not before the long and arduous process of covering every part that is still PVC with painter's tape, since that does not grip onto plastic tape. After the plastic dip, we can remove all of the painter's tape on the roller. and give everything a base coat. With some black for the sides, white for the roller, the holder and the body, and black for the tank. Then we can start to add the colors with some silver for the sides. Nothing to see. Next, neon yellow for the holder and the body. And while those dry, we can remove the tape from the spacers to reveal the sides. But we forgot one more thing. The protector behind the roller. So for this we started by cutting some foam board to 100 by 20 centimeters. Then we cut this in half and cut one of the longer sides of each piece with a 60-degree angle. Then these angled cuts are glued together with hot glue. But to prevent the edges from melting with the spray paint, we give these a coat of black acrylic. Still we're missing one more detail, the supports on the protector. So we trace the ends to make the supports and attach these. Finally, we only had to add the bracers that connect the thing to the holder and give it a coat of black spray paint. Finally, we can continue with the ink tank, starting by adding some grey to the lid of the hatch and to the Ammonites logo. Next we make the blue lights that are on the bottom of the hero tanks. For this we started with a base coat of white. Then we add 2 layers of blue on top of this. Next we add a smaller oval of light blue. And we finish it off with a little spot of white to imitate LED lights on the inside. You could also put some acrylic in there and put some LEDs behind it, but we were on a bit of a time crunch, so we didn't have that option.
Hey! Rocky!
Then we grab the silver again for the pipe of the tank. And next we wanted to do the handles, so we cut out a 15 cm and 18 cm piece of 5 mm EVA foam to go around the PVC pipes. Remove the tape that kept the space clean from paint. Use a little bit more contact cement to attach the foam to the handles. And with a final black plastic dip coat, those are also finished. Then comes the longest process of the whole project, hand-painted polka dots. These are added with a spacing of 8 per ring onto the holder and the body of the roller. A bit of black spray painted rings. And some silver edge highlights on the protector. And that's all for the painting process. Okay, then we can grab the ink tank and a hot glue gun to attach that to the body. I mean the ink tank, not the hot glue gun. Then we can attach a protector to the holder. And using a lock nut, we can screw the sides onto the ends of the holder. Finally, we can attach the sides for real to the roller. And we can screw the hinge together at last. And to close off this project, we're gluing on the ends of the holder to complete the Hero Roller Replica prop. Hey Creators, Robo here, and we really hope you enjoyed this video. It feels so good to be finally back making projects to show to you guys. So we hope you guys are as excited as we are for our next video, which we almost want to get started on already. But we first need to work on something to celebrate 400 subscribers, because even though we have been absent for a little while, the amount of creators has kept growing. So thank you guys so much for the continued support, we really appreciate it, and we hope we can continue with our projects to entertain you guys. But we have to go for now. Keep those creative gears turning, and we will see you in the next video.